Well, look who's here in New York right now. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Republican from the state of Louisiana. Congressman, on what grounds would you impeach President Biden?
Well, if you look at where we are, Stuart, I mean, President Biden is failing on so many different fronts. But if you look at Israel, you showed those quotes and tweets, what he said when he was a candidate, and he sure was bold then, but he'd probably like to eat some of those words today, because what he's done to Israel, walking away from our strongest ally in the Middle East, is disgraceful. You've got Democrats even admitting that right now. Our main objective is to get Israel the support they need to show that we stand with our ally Israel, even if Joe Biden's walking away because he is now trying to appease the pro-Hamas wing of his party.
Is it a high crime and misdemeanor to walk away from a big ally?
Well, what we want to do is get
crime?
President Biden to actually go and deliver that aid. I mean, ultimately, Congress came together, Republicans and Democrats, to support the aid. No, there's legislation that we are drafting that actually requires him to deliver the aid, because we want Israel to have the tools that they need to defend themselves. They were under attack.
Well, where does impeachment come into this?
Well, right now, if you look at what we're drafting, it's legislation to require that he actually go and deliver the aid to Israel. And again, Hamas, working with Iran, the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, went and invaded Israel on October 7th. They murdered barbarically Israelis. They still hold over 130 hostages, including American citizens. And Joe Biden is not concerned about releasing the hostages. He's directing all of his attacks towards Israel, for goodness sake. He's siding with the wing of his party that's out there pulling down American flags on campuses and putting up the Palestinian flag, defacing George Washington statue on campuses. You look at some of these radicals that are doing this, anarchists that are doing this, that's who Joe Biden is trying to appease, and he's walking away from Israel in the process. And Republicans and Democrats united support Israel and don't agree with what Joe Biden's doing. We want to get back on the focus of helping and supporting our ally Israel.
I'm going to change the subject for a second. House Republicans, that's you guys, you just passed a bill to add a citizenship question to the 2030 census. It passed without a single vote from any Democrat. I got that. Is this all about the number of seats allocated to the states on the basis of census numbers?
Yeah, and you've seen this brewing. President Trump tried to change that question, and the court said, well, there were some procedural issues. Ultimately, an act of Congress can address this, and that's what we brought forward on the House floor. It was a party line vote, but as you pointed out, every single Democrat basically said they want illegals to be counted in the census. So you take a state like California that has lost millions of people because their policies are so bad. People that are fleeing and going to Texas or Florida or somewhere else where they can actually have freedom and lower taxes and sanity in policy, they would probably lose a dozen seats in Congress and about a dozen electoral votes, which is really critical if you only counted people that are here legally. And yet they want to continue to be able to count people that are here illegally as well to boost their numbers and reflect and make up for the people that they lost who said, we don't like your bad leftist policies.
So long term, the open border is an attempt to ensure democratic power in the political arena for years to come.
It sure explains a lot of why Joe Biden would keep an open border, even when America, I mean, look, the number one issue in America is secure the southern border, but Joe Biden refuses to do it. He opened it up. He stopped construction of the wall. He ended Remain in Mexico. He mandated catch and release. Those are all policies Joe Biden took that led to millions of people coming into our country illegally, including really bad actors, people on the terrorist watch list. Joe Biden could reverse that today. He won't. We passed a bill out of the House, H.R. 2, to fix this problem, and Joe Biden opposed that bill. Shows you he doesn't want to solve the problem. President Trump will fix this problem. That's going to be front and center on the ballot November 5th.
Did you see this? At George Washington University, only 6 of 33 arrested people, only 6 were students at that university. Do you think that outsiders are organizing this campus chaos? Is it a kind of conspiracy?
It's coordinated, and in fact, there have been some research done to follow the money. I mean, this is funded. This is actually costing money. You see tents, and 50 tents are set up, and they're all the exact same tent. This isn't people who just pulled something out of their garage and showed up. They're being organized, a lot of it by Joe Biden donors. And that's been identified. Why won't Joe Biden give that money back? Because he supports that pro-Hamas wing of his party, these anarchists that are stopping Jewish students from being able, by the way, to go to class. These presidents on college campuses who won't protect Jewish students in violation of federal law. We're looking at this, too. too, by the way, at the federal level in Congress, to follow the money. These universities are getting billions of dollars in taxpayer money, and part of that requirement is that they protect all their students, especially Jewish students, and they're failing miserably in that mission.
Can you take some
We're
money
going to
off
hold
the
them
elite
accountable.
colleges?
We're looking at the money. Obviously, you start talking about the billions in taxpayer money they get, that's getting their attention. But this has to be addressed. People are sick and tired. They're paying $80,000, $100,000 a year for tuition, and the kids can't even go to class right now because of these anarchists.
We've been hearing from a few parents, believe me.
Yeah.
Steve Scalise, Congressman, thanks very much for joining us.
Great being with you,
A real
Stuart.
pleasure. Are you well, sir?
Feeling great. Thanks a lot. God
You
bless.
look good. God bless you, too.